Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm not dreaming. This isn't an alternate reality. I just watched the New Mutants, and after years of waiting for this film to come out, finally got to see it, rented it on Amazon because it's out on VOD now after it had a theatrical run, and was it worth the wait? Not really. There's very few films I would have waited that much time and building up anticipation for. I didn't hate this. Didn't particularly love it or really like it either. I don't know if this quite reaches being a good film, but there's a lot of potential here. And that's probably the most frustrating thing about all this. Josh Boone crafts an intriguing story, an intriguing setup of 5 young mutants inside this strange kind of school, hospital, whatever you want to call this place. They legitimately have like cells in the back for like just, you're bad and you get thrown in a cell all night. And they're having tests done to them and they're told by this doctor, played by Alice Braga, that these 5 young people are being trained to become X-Men at some point, but they need to get control of their powers. And has some horror elements. There's some creepy moments. The horror isn't exactly super well crafted. It uses a lot of really tired horror film tropes. There's some creepy designs, though, of some of the creatures and weird things that come about. And it's a little creepy at times. It doesn't really hit very well on those aspects of the film, though. And in general, I think it does hit on a decent amount of coming-of-age themes. And there's a really nice budding relationship between Macy Williams' character and Blue Hunt's character, between Danny and Rain. And it's a really nice, genuine, budding romance between these 2 young women, and that really works for the film. And you get the baggage of each of these characters having a lot going on. There's times where the film feels very choppily directed. It feels very shaky in terms of what it's trying to lay down. The very beginning of the film feels very disorienting, and it takes a little bit for you to get into stride. This is only like 95 minutes. It never felt long to me, but it did feel rushed in terms of what it was trying to accomplish, and it never felt like it was fully realized. Felt like there's ideas, but they never really came together. And I felt like some of these characters could have got a little more fleshing out, because some of their powers are a little broad, to say the least, especially Anya Taylor-Joy's character. But especially, she is the best part of the film. Anya Taylor-Joy is such a great young actress. She really brings a lot. Macy Williams does a really good job. And in general, there's a fun dynamic between all these young teenagers here. But in the end, it feels like nothing clicks and hits all of its cylinders. It kind of feels like it's stalling out. And like, I would want to see more of these characters and see what happens to them in a more fleshed out story. This just felt very much like something really thrown together to try to set up this new group of mutants and hopefully go from there. But obviously, nothing's going to come out of this because Disney is just like, we need to get this out there and throw it out there and forget about all these X-Men films. And this film feels really set into the X-Men universe that had been going on. So it really could have been going in that direction. But I feel like nothing feels really fully realized, nothing fully played out. Big CGI kind of blob fest at the end. But they're fun characters. They have tragic backstories. It's just that in terms of like how the film's actually put together, it feels very shaky, and some of the dialogue is atrocious. Like, any kind of comic relief and even some of Anya Taylor-Joy's lines sound really, really bad. They're just poorly written. But she does her best. Some of the other characters really don't have the charisma to make some of these lines work, and it really shows. So from shaky direction, iffy dialogue, not really pulling things together and feeling really fully realized, I think the New Mutants is quite disappointing. But this isn't like a complete train wreck that I heard a lot of people saying it was, at least to me. I would still say X-Men Origins Wolverine is probably the hottest of messes of the X-Men films. But those are my thoughts. And these are my thoughts on New Mutants. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.